Hi, family. This is Queen Inusah, Mother Wisdom here. And today we're just going to talk about, as always, we're going to touch on identity because so many of us really do not know our own identity. I'm very passionate, tribe, about you knowing who you are. I'm very passionate about teaching, training, and equipping. So I am your spiritual guide to help you get from being lost into walking into your true identity. The problem most of the time is that we really don't know who we are. So let's go back and just talk about some concepts that the world does not want you to know. The world does not want you to talk about. And you have to be evolved. You have to be able to think outside of the box to even be able to understand what I'm going to be talking about in this episode. So, what I'm actually talking about is the ability to see things the way they really are. Most of the time, we go through life with blinders on. I say all the time, and people have asked me, Queenie Newsell, why do you always say this isn't that and that isn't this? Because I want you to understand that things are not quite what they seem. It's not the way they want you to believe that it is, and you are the key. So if I had to tell you what we were going to be talking about today, I would tell you that I would be teaching, training, and equipping you to understand that you are the missing link. You are the missing person. So as a tribe, it's our responsibility to make sure that everyone within the tribe is operating within their gift, within their superpowers, because I want you to understand that you have superpowers. You have supernatural powers. You have gifts, you have talents, you have abilities, but you also have supernatural powers that you do not even realize that you have. And on top of that, because you don't know who you are, you don't know what you have, and you don't know how to tap into it. So that is my job. My job is to help you to find your gift, operate in your gift, utilize your gift to its fullest potential. But I've got to get you awakened, because most of us go through life sleepwalking. There are so many people, and you say, why do you say they're sleepwalking? Because they're just going through the motions of living. You know, you have to be an active participant in your own life. So if you're just going through the motions of living, are you really living at all? I would say no. And so it comes to the point to where you have to understand that you are the missing link in your own life. It's because you don't know yourself that you think that you are lacking something. It's because you don't know yourself and you don't understand where you came from. So first of all, I want to start this out by, we're just going to start talking because I need you to understand the concept that when your father met your mother and you were conceived in your mother's womb, that was not the beginning. I talked about it in some other segments because Bible scholars like to call me and they like to say that's not the, why are you saying that it's not the beginning? Because it's not the beginning. Not that I believe everything that is written because I the word, I try the word, and I have a personal relationship with God. So I'm spiritual, not religious, because my relationship with God is about my relationship with God, not that I'm denominational, non-denominational, Methodist, Baptist, Catholic, or any of those. I do not associate with any of those because I associate with God Himself. I believe in God consciousness. I believe in becoming one with God, and you and God are one. So that is different elevations of Christ consciousness, and that comes later. But first of all, we have to get you to understand and know who you are. We have to get you to stop sleepwalking through life and just wake up and see everything that's around you. If you think of the movie The Matrix, everybody was walking around and they thought that was reality, but it really wasn't reality. It was what the machines wanted them to see. And that's kind of like how your life is now. It's like a matrix. You're believing what you was told to believe. But you have to become an evolved being. So, and stop believing what you are told. Think outside of the box. Look deeper, because the answer is truly on the inside of you. And you can unlock these answers. You can go to different levels of consciousness. You can travel to other places. You just got to know that the ability to do these things is on the inside of you. So just like if you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, you know that people saw what they wanted them to see, and they thought that was reality. They didn't even know that a war was going on behind the scenes. That's what I want you to know, that a war is going on behind the scenes. And since I mentioned war, I want you to know that I'm one with an angel. And so there's been times in my life to where I was in danger, but I had to do a specific task. And so in doing that specific task, it was necessary for the angel to protect me. It was the most marvelous sight that I have ever seen, and I always feel my angel presence with me. But I want to tell you that the wingspan of my angel was something that I will never ever forget. The wings was just marvelous. It was like glorious. And so I'm in this room, I'm doing this teaching, I'm doing this recording, and I feel my angel's presence. But not only that, but I saw the wingspan, and the wingspan was outstretched. And so I want you to know that this wingspan encompassed the whole entire room. So it was 2 windows in the room. It was 2 doorways in the room, and the wingspan of my angel completely covered all of that. And I was able to go ahead and do what I needed to do. So people ask me all the time, are you scared to do what you need to do? Well, no, I'm not, because I can feel my angel's presence, and just the wings alone offers protection and shelter. It's like resting under the Almighty God. So with that being said, that's something that most people have not experienced. There's so many things that I have experienced because I am evolved, and I do know where I came from, and I do know my mission and my purpose here on earth. So let me go a little deeper. What is it that I need you to understand? I need you to understand, first of all, that when you came to planet Earth, that was not your beginning. That was not your origins. Because even if we use the Bible says he knew you before you was even conceived in your mother's womb. So you have to understand that your mother and father meeting each other and giving birth to you was not your beginning, because even the Bible says he knew you before you were conceived in your mother's womb. So that lets you know that your mother's womb was just a transportation mode to get you to planet Earth. That's what I really need you to understand right now. So you existed before your mother's womb. You have to understand that your mother and father came together, you were conceived, you were housed in that womb like a cocoon, and then at the appointed time, your mother gave birth to you. But that's not your beginning. That's not where you begin. That was just the mode of transportation to get you here on planet Earth. So once I get you to understand that, let's talk about where you came from. Let's talk about the fact that you existed before that period of time. So that means that you existed on another plane, in another atmosphere, in another level of consciousness, but you already were. And so in this other level of consciousness, in this other dimension, let me put it that way, in this other dimension, you had gifts, you had talents, and you had supernatural powers. So when you came to Earth, the vehicle of your mother's womb, you did not lose your gifts, your talents, and your supernatural gifts. You still retain those, and you brought them to planet Earth with you. But the problem is that you don't remember. You don't remember who you were before you entered your mother's womb. So therefore, if you don't remember who you were before you entered your mother's womb, then you don't remember your gifts, your talents, and your superpower. So it is my job to help you not only identify your gift, your talent, and your superpower, but to also help you learn to use it. So we go on a journey together to where I help you identify whether it's a gift, whether it's a talent, whether it's supernatural, but you have to identify that. So we have to help you to remember who you were before planet Earth. Then we want to go a step further, because if you're here, then you're here for a purpose. I know that during my lifespan that I have felt like, okay, what's the purpose of me being here? I'm not serving any purpose. I'm not doing anybody any good. I'm unhappy. I don't want to be here. Life has no purpose. Life has no meaning. I didn't believe in suicide, so I couldn't take my own life. I've been sick and told I wasn't going to make it, but I made it and I pulled through. But there was nothing that was going to take me out right then, right that second, that I wanted to go out, that I wanted to exit planet Earth. So I want you to understand that, okay, so you came here from another dimension. In the other dimension, you had gifts, talents, and superpower. You did not lose those when you came through your mother's womb as a vehicle to be here and operate on planet Earth. Because you had to come to planet Earth through a vehicle, and that vehicle was your parents. Just like the vehicle for them to get here was their parents. And so we need to have an understanding of that, first of all. Then after we understand that, then we have to realize that in the other dimension, we were evolved beings. We had supernatural powers that we used every single day. We had gifts, we had talents, we had all of this stuff. But when we traveled through the vehicle of our mother's womb, we forgot and lost our identity. So we don't remember who we were then. So we have lived a lifetime being whoever they are, we have lived a lifetime being who they told us that we are. So it gave us an identity crisis because we don't even know who we are. That's why it is so important for you to know your ancestors and the gifts that your ancestors also had, because it also helps you and points you towards the gifts that you may have. And so with that being said, you just need to understand that you were existing before planet Earth. So then the question becomes, okay, what was I doing before planet Earth? Now, there's a lot of theories out there. Some people say that we're here prisoners against our own will. I disagree with that. I think that we have been sent here to carry out a mission, to carry out a purpose. So you do have a purpose for being here. You do have a mission for being here. So first of all, I want you to know that your mission and your purpose is important, because for you to have a mission and a purpose to be here on planet Earth, that means that it's something that you need to do that only you can do. Whatever that may be, you have been gifted with the talent, the gift, and the superpowers to carry that out. But as long as you don't realize who you are, as long as you don't realize your own self-worth, as long as you don't know, you can't do anything about what you don't know. And so you aren't evolved because you don't realize that you were evolved in a different dimension before you ever came here to planet Earth. Now, I want you to know that planet Earth is not that evolved. Planet Earth is not something that you should be wanting to stay here forever, because planet Earth probably is at the bottom of the totem pole. But I want you to understand that you were chosen to come here, but you are not a prisoner. You are not a prisoner of war. You're not a prisoner of your circumstances, because everything that you need to command the atmosphere here, everything that you need to be the change that you seek, is on the inside of you. That's the reason why I started out by telling you, you are the missing link. You are the missing part of the equation. And that's the reason why the tribe is so important, because all of us come together fulfilling a different purpose, a different mission that goes hand in hand with each other. And when we all come together, just think about the change. If we were all on one accord, if we all were using our talents, our gifts, our supernatural power, going in the same direction, imagine what life could really be like here on earth. But the problem is that we're not evolved enough to understand that this is not our beginning and this is not our end. Just like this isn't the beginning, this isn't the end either. So you have to ask the question, first of all, what is my talents? What is my gifts? And what is my superpower? Those are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Then the next set of questions that you have to ask yourself is, why was I sent here? What was I sent here to do? Now, these are questions that you have got to answer in order to walk in your purpose, in order to walk in your destiny, in order to fulfill your mission. So after you ask yourself these questions, the next and final question is going to be, do I accept the mission that I was sent here for? I'm not a prisoner. I may not like being here, but I was sent here for a purpose. I was sent here for a mission, and I need to carry out the mission. Am I willing to carry out the mission that I was sent here to do? So once you answer all of those questions, then it's time for us to not only help you discover your gifts, your passion, your talents, and your God-given superpower, but not only do we help you discover what those are, we begin to help you learn how to focus, learn how to hone in on those, and learn how to use them to change your life, your tribe's life, and the world in which we live. So it all goes hand in hand. But then there's one other thing that I want to touch on, and then I'll come back and I'll bring all of this together to where we have a better understanding of what I'm actually talking about. So we have already acknowledged that Earth is not our beginning. We existed before planet Earth. So we've got that. We understand that. Then we have to come to understand that we have gifts, talents, and superpowers. So then once you accept that, then you have to know that you become passionate about it, and you have to become an active participant in your own life, in your own journey. So we have those two categories. So what's the next thing that we're going to do? We're going to reprogram our way of thinking, because we have been brainwashed. I know for many years, too many years for me to count, I had gifts, I had talents, I had superpowers that I refused to use because the status quo said it was evil. The status quo said that if you had these gifts, then you were evil and that you were operating in darkness. Now, I want you to know that just like there's dark, there's light. Just like there's good, there's bad. So there's always two sides of any coin. And so you have to balance that out. You have to balance your life out, but you have to know your mission, what you were sent here for. In order for you to accomplish the mission that you have now accepted, you have got to use your gifts, your talents, and your superpowers to be able to accomplish that. Now, what I want to say about this is that you've been brainwashed to believe that your supernatural superpowers is bad. You've been brainwashed to believe that you're not supposed to have supernatural powers. That's not true. All gifts, Our gifts, talents, and supernatural powers come from God. God only gives good and perfect gifts. Now, you can decide to misuse the gift, but even the gifts that you do use that you don't think about every day, even with those gifts, you can decide to do the right thing or you can decide to misuse those gifts. So you've got to stop being brainwashed by the world and by society, and you have to come to understand that things really are not good or bad, they just are. What is your mission? Do your mission. Your mission isn't good, your mission isn't bad, it's just your mission. Things are not just dark and not light. You have both. You have dark and light. You have shadows, you have light. All of it encompasses who you are as a person. You just have to know what your mission is. What is your supernatural power? What is your gift? What is your destiny? What is your purpose? And then you have to learn to walk in that, not being afraid of what the world may say. Because as long as you're afraid of what the world may say, you're never going to learn to use your supernatural power. You're never going to learn to use your gift. You're never going to learn to use your talent because you're too worried about what the world has to say about your gifts, your talents, and your supernatural power. So I came by on today just to let you know that your supernatural power is not bad. It's not evil. It's not wrong. It just is. So you have to reprogram your mind. You have to reprogram the way you think. You've got to get rid of that stinking thinking, I heard someone say, because we've been brainwashed so that we won't use it and we won't be able to change our environment. We won't be able to change the environment of the tribe, and we won't be able to change the environment of the life in which we live. We will not be able to be the change that we see. So you have to understand that all of this requires you to be participant in your own life, in your own journey. But we always say, to thine own self be true. So do you actually know who you are? Do you know what your supernatural power is? Do you know what your gifts is? Do you know what your talent is? Do you know your strengths? Do you know your weaknesses? Are you ashamed of who you are? Because I want you to know that you were sent here on earth for a mission, and you have to complete the mission. Well, you don't have to, but you should be willing to complete the mission, because if you were sent here to do the mission, nobody else can do that mission other than you, because you've been gifted and given the key and the tools to complete your assignment, to complete your mission. I cannot complete your mission. I cannot complete your assignment. I can only complete mine because I don't have the same supernatural powers you do. I don't have the same gifts. I don't have the same talent. So whatever your mission is, you've been gifted with everything you need to do that. Now, I say you are the missing link because we're running around and we're looking for something outside of ourselves. We don't realize that we are the power. We are the missing link. Everything that we need is already on the inside of us, waiting for us to tap into it and waiting for us to use what has already been made readily available for us. Again, I want to stress this important part, that when you left the other dimension, you did not lose your supernatural power. You did not lose your gift. You did not lose your destiny. You did not lose your purpose. You did not lose anything that was embedded in you. As a matter of fact, you came here with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on how to bring about change and what to do while you're here on planet Earth. But the problem is that we've forgotten. We don't remember. When we left that other dimension and came through the mother's womb to this planet Earth, we forgot who we were. We forgot our supernatural power. We forgot our talent. We forgot our destiny. We forgot everything. So we need to understand that the key is us, and that we have to tap into our inner strength. We have to tap into our inner power. You have to be willing to find out what your supernatural power is. You have to be willing to find out what your talent is, what your gift is. There is so many different talents and gifts, and I'm going to start breaking them down, and I'm going to talk about some of them. I'm going to talk about what they look like and what it means. We have some other videos out where I'm actually breaking some of that down. But what I'm trying to get you to understand today and accept is that you existed before planet Earth. You came through your mother's womb as a vehicle to get to planet Earth. So now that you're here, you need to become evolved. You need to become realized. You need to become knowledgeable of who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. And it is so important that you realize this, because otherwise you just wander around life saying, I don't want to live. There has to be more to life than this. It is more to life than this. You just have to recall what you really, really know. You have to recall. And I want you to know that so many different forms of knowledge, wisdom, and information is embedded in your DNA. It's all in the blood. So you have to tap in to your inner strength. You have to tap in to the knowledge that's here so you can bring that knowledge forth in this earthly realm. The other thing I want you to know is that you can travel. You can travel to different dimensions. You can go to different elevations of consciousness. And when you go to the different elevations of consciousness, you meet your evolved self. You meet yourself that knows exactly who you are and operates in the fullness of who you are. So you can go to a different level of consciousness and meet Sheila. You can go to a different level of consciousness and meet whatever your name is. You can go to that different level of consciousness, and the evolved part of you, the higher dimension of yourself, will give you the answer that you need to operate in this earthly realm. Your ancestors, you can still talk and commune with your ancestors. They can still send you messages. You can still get in contact with your ancestors. So I want you to understand that there's information out there. You just have to know how to get it. And I want you to know that there's answers. There's answers in nature. Start going outside and being in nature. The sun speaks to me. The wind speaks to me. The rustling of the leaves speaks to me. The grass speaks to me. The rocks, the dirt, the clay speaks to me. The ocean speaks to me. The waterfall speaks to me. The sky speaks to me. I can go on and on and on. Seashells speak to me. Fish speak to me. I can go on and on and on about how I receive different messages. It's all put there for you, but you have got to see what you don't see. You've got to clear your mind of the limitations. You've got to clear and free your mind so you can see what's really there, because we're walking through life with blinders on. I go back to the Matrix. They had to take a pill to be able to see the reality. Without taking that pill, they could not see the reality of what life was really like, and that these machines was controlling everything. It's the same way with your identity. You have got to become evolved. You have got to learn how to meditate, how to go to different levels of consciousness to get the answers that you need. But first of all, it starts first and foremost with you understanding that planet Earth was not your beginning, that you came from another dimension, and that other dimension that you came from, you had supernatural powers, you had gifts, you had talents. It was all on the inside of you, and you were able to use your gifts, your talents, and your supernatural powers. So again, I want to stress that when you came through your mother's womb as a vehicle to get here, you did not lose any of that. You just don't remember how to use it. And that's what we need to help you do. We need to help you to identify it. We need to help you learn how to use it again. We need to help you tap into the essence of who you really are. We need to help you tap in to the essence of Sheila. We need to help you tap in to your gifts, your supernatural power. your destiny, your purpose, so you can be the best you that you can be, and so that you can truly walk in your purpose, understanding who you are and understanding that because you have supernatural power, because you have gifts, because you have talents, it allows you to be able to speak to the atmosphere. It allows you to be able to change the very fabric of everything that's in your existence, everything that's going on around you. You have the power. It's time for you to tap into that power. It's time for you to understand that you do have powers. You do have supernatural powers. You do have gifts, and you do have talents. You know what? Let's get into it. Let's find those gifts. Let's find those talents. Let's find those supernatural powers, and let's learn how to utilize them for the good of not just you, but for the good of the tribe and for the good of mankind and for the good of the world. It's time, it's time, it's time. Look, guys, it's time for us to take the blinders off. It's time for us to take that little pill that frees our mind, that allows us to see what has been in front of us all along, and know that this journey here to earth has purpose and it has meaning. And guess what? You have a mission. Will you accept the mission? You know what? Mission impossible. Will you accept the mission? So you were sent here to carry out a specific mission. Will you accept that mission? If you're going to accept the mission, then we need to help you tap in to your goals, your talents, your dreams, your gifts, and most importantly, your supernatural powers. Until the time, this has been Mother Wisdom. Take care of you, and I'll talk to you again real soon.